the sign she's waiting for you to reach out. Modern Stoic. Love is not about possession. Love is about appreciation. Zrania. There's a kind of quiet that can be misunderstood. She hasn't called, she hasn't sent a message, and yet something in your gut tells you she's still thinking of you. Silence doesn't always mean it's the end. In some cases, it's a subtle invitation, an unspoken wish that you'll take the first step, without her needing to say a word. But how can you distinguish between genuine space and a silent plea for you to reach out? In this guide, we'll explore 8 undeniable signs that she's waiting for you to make the move. These aren't mere surface-level cues. They're emotional undercurrents, quiet signals of her own internal struggle between pride and vulnerability. For a Stoic man, this isn't about pursuing endlessly. It's about understanding and balance. It's about recognizing when to give her space and when to step forward. You don't have to chase. Instead, you become attuned to the subtle shifts in her behavior. Let's explore these signs together. Number 1. Her silence isn't cold, it's calculated. You must understand this. Silence is not always a sign of rejection. Her silence isn't cold, it's calculated. It's not a wall, it's a space, a deliberate pause. If she hasn't blocked you, unfriended you, or erased every trace of you from her life, there's a reason. She's giving you room to act. It's not a withdrawal, it's an invitation to step forward, to show her you're still present, still invested, but without the need to chase. This is where the blessing of Stoicism comes into play, a practice that can guide you through these moments of uncertainty with clarity and composure. The old Stoic knew the importance of observing, of not rushing to conclusions or reacting to external circumstances impulsively. You must do the same. Her silence might stir doubts in you. It might feel like she's closing the door, but hold on. This isn't the silence of someone who's moved on. It's a test, a challenge. She's not done with you. She's testing your response to her absence. She hasn't blocked you. She hasn't deleted you. She hasn't even unfollowed you. She simply stopped reaching out, stopped initiating the conversation, stopped trying. And now you're left wondering, is this the end, or is she waiting for you to make the next move? Here's the truth you need to grasp. Silence is not emotional withdrawal, it's strategic space. She's pulling back to see what you'll do when she steps back. Will you chase after her? Will you flood her with texts and apologies for something you're not even sure is broken? Or will you maintain your composure and hold your frame? As a modern Stoic, you must resist the temptation to act out of fear or insecurity. You must sit with the silence, reflect on it, and respond in a way that aligns with your true self, not out of manipulation or desperation. Remember what Epictetus said. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This is the essence of Stoic wisdom. If her silence is a move, then how you respond is your own move. Let's say she used to send you a good morning text every day. One morning, it stops. No message, no check, in. Most men would spiral, they'd panic, flood her with messages demanding an explanation, trying to fix something that hasn't even been clearly broken. But the modern Stoic doesn't fall into that trap. He doesn't let the silence dictate his actions. Instead, he notices the shift, reflects on it, and remains grounded. He doesn't rush to fill the void with anxious energy. He doesn't perform for her attention. He understands that the silence speaks volumes, and that it's more revealing than any text or message could ever be. He uses that silence to deepen his own patience and discipline. He doesn't flinch. He doesn't fold. He stands firm. Because silence isn't an empty void, it's a mirror. It reflects not only her intentions, but also your strength. Her silence can become a powerful teacher if you allow it to be. It shows you where your emotions are still reactive and where your character can grow stronger. It's a chance to practice the Stoic discipline of detachment, not detaching from her, but detaching from the need to control every interaction. When you remain unshaken, when you don't rush to react or force an outcome, that's when she'll feel the shift. She'll feel your presence, but not in the way she expected. Not because you overextended yourself, but because you held your ground, staying calm, composed, and unflinching. So what's your move? If you're currently in this space, if her voice has gone quiet, don't jump to conclusions. Don't assume the worst. Don't rush in with explanations or demands. Watch, reflect, and most importantly, remain grounded. Her silence is her move. Your move is to stay composed, not to chase, but to remain unshaken. Before you act, pause and really consider the power of non-reaction. What if this silence isn't meant to punish you, but to provoke a response, not from your emotions, but from your character? This is where the true test lies. In these moments, your strength isn't in your words, but in your ability to hold still, to stay true to your own nature. Have you experienced this kind of calculated silence? How did you respond? Share your thoughts below. Or if you're in the midst of this right now, drop a comment saying, "I respond with presence, not panic." Let's keep the conversation going and grow stronger in these moments of quiet uncertainty. Number 2, she leaves the door slightly open. When she leaves the door slightly open, don't mistake it for an invitation. Not unfollowed, not blocked, not erased from her life entirely. She's left you in a kind of limbo, just enough space to linger in her digital world, but not enough to truly move forward. She might be waiting for you to step through that door. But let's be clear. A Stoic man knows just because the door is ajar, it doesn't mean he has to walk through it. This is no accident. It's deliberate. When a woman is done with you, she doesn't leave you hanging. She closes the door completely. She erases, blocks, deletes, burns the bridge with no hesitation. She doesn't want to be found. But when she leaves that door open just a crack, when she keeps you on her followers list, lets you see her stories, or drops a casual like on your post, this is not forgetfulness. It's strategy. It's a test. A subtle signal that says, I want to be missed, but I'm not going to be the one to admit it. This is where the lessons of Stoicism come in. It's about remaining composed when you're faced with mixed signals. Part of you will wonder, should I reach out? Is she waiting for me to say something? Maybe this is my chance to fix things. But this is where Stoic strength shines. The open door isn't an invitation, it's a hesitation. It's not her giving you permission to enter, it's her uncertainty. And you must not confuse that for your mission. As a man who lives by Stoic principles, you must stay grounded. Your job isn't to decode every move she makes like an emotional detective, analysing every like and every glance. Your job is to stay true to your values, peace, clarity, and self-respect. This is where the Stoic life becomes essential. When you are rooted in Stoicism, you don't react impulsively to external circumstances. You remain unwavering, no matter what the world throws at you. That means when the door is left slightly open, you don't rush through it. You don't rush to fill the silence with your presence. Instead, you observe, you maintain your composure, you hold your ground. If she truly wants to reconnect, she knows where to find you. A woman who wants you back won't leave the door halfway open and then wait for you to step in. She'll make her intentions clear, and if you chase her through that open door, all you're doing is seeking validation. You're not stepping into a place of mutual respect. You're stepping into the territory of insecurity and neediness. That is not what Stoicism teaches you. Stoic lessons remind you that real strength lies in restraint. The ability to not chase after something just because it's there, that's where your true power lies. A Stoic man doesn't lose himself in the emotional noise. He doesn't chase after half-open doors, waiting for someone else to define his worth. He doesn't engage in a game of cat and mouse, responding to her mixed signals with desperation. Instead, he remains steady. He remains in control of himself, no matter the external chaos. He understands that his self-worth doesn't depend on anyone's approval or attention. He knows that his strength comes from within, from staying grounded in his own values and peace. So, if you're looking at that half-open door and wondering if you should walk through, pause for a moment. Don't act out of impulse. Don't think that the fact that she hasn't fully closed the door means it's an open invitation. It's not. It's a test, a reminder to yourself about the importance of self, respect, and the value of remaining steady in the face of uncertainty. Don't fall into the trap of seeking validation. Don't mistake her hesitation for your cue. Walk your own path. Be rooted in Stoicism. Hold your ground, and know that if she truly wants you back, she knows exactly where to find you. But you, as a modern Stoic, must remain focused on your own journey, not on decoding someone else's mixed signals. Your peace, clarity, and self-respect are what truly matter. If you're ready to stay grounded and not be swayed by mixed signals, drop a comment below right now. I walk my path with strength, not validation. Like this video, subscribe for more unshakable wisdom, and remember, the door is open, but your true power lies in knowing when not to walk through it. Number 3. Her stories speak louder than her texts. A Stoic man understands that the world is full of distractions, and the key to mastery is focus. Don't be fooled by her carefully curated posts, the lyrics, the throwbacks, or the quotes about missing something real. These aren't random gestures. These are signals. She's not calling you directly, but she's still speaking to you. Her stories, those little snippets of emotion, nostalgia, and hidden meaning, are far louder than any dry text she's sent. The universes change. Our life is what our thoughts make it, Marcus Aurelius said. And what she's showing you through these posts is her internal struggle, her attempt to communicate without directly confronting you. Don't mistake it for an invitation to chase. Don't mistake it for a cry for attention. These signals are her way of telling her story without giving you the power to hold her accountable. They're her attempt to stir something in you. But as a Stoic, you must remain detached. You must not flinch. The mistake most men make is jumping at the opportunity to decode her every move. They overanalyze the lyrics of a song she posts, or they craft long-winded messages hoping to bring clarity to something that is, by design, meant to stay unclear. But a Stoic man doesn't chase after these breadcrumbs. He knows that what is within our control is what matters. Her stories, her cryptic posts, those are expressions of her emotions, her responsibility to manage, not yours to solve. You must stand firm. You must remain focused on what is within your control, your peace, your clarity, your inner discipline. When faced with this, remember that the Stoic principles are about keeping your emotional distance. Don't engage in a battle you were never meant to fight. A Stoic man never chases distractions. He listens, but he does not react. Her posts are not invitations. They are expressions of her uncertainty, her emotional state, her desire for connection without vulnerability. Your response? Silence. Not because you don't care, but because you understand that her emotional journey is hers to navigate. Your role is not to fix it or decipher it, but to remain grounded, firm in your own identity. As Epictetus would say, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. In this case, your reaction is everything. Don't allow yourself to be pulled into her emotional storm. Stand your ground. Listen with detachment. Recognize the signals for what they are, expressions of her inner conflict. And while you stay silent, let her see that your inner peace is not something she can shake with a post. You must remain steady, unmoved by the chaos around you. Only then will you master your response. Only then will you truly live by the Stoic principles. Number 4. Mutual friends keep dropping hints. Out of the blue, her friends start mentioning her name in conversations. Maybe they casually bring up how she's asked about you, or how she's been a little different lately. These aren't coincidences. Let's be real. When her close circle starts dropping hints, especially when you didn't ask for them, there's a reason behind it. Maybe one of her friends says something like, "She was just talking about that trip you two took together." Or maybe they throw in a vague, "She's not quite herself these days. You didn't seek out this information, but somehow it found its way to you." And this is where the modern Stoic must remain sharp. The blessing of Stoicism teaches us to observe without reacting impulsively. When a woman isn't ready to speak to you directly, she often speaks through others. Her friends, whether they realize it or not, become her messengers. Sometimes it's subtle. a mention of an inside joke you shared, or a question they know will eventually get back to her. Other times, it's not subtle at all. Maybe after a few drinks, they casually drop your name, hoping it sparks a reaction. This is where many men go wrong. They hear these hints and think it's their cue to swoop in and fix things, to message her, or to reappear in her life. But a Stoic man doesn't take the bait. He listens, yes, but not with hope, not with the intention to fix anything. He observes calmly and without emotion. You must understand this. Just because she's thinking about you doesn't mean she's ready for you to act. The key is in your response, or rather, your lack of one. When you are centered in your peace as a Stoic, you don't rush back into her world just because a friend mentioned her name. You don't make a move every time there's a shift in the emotional atmosphere. Instead, you watch, you listen, but you stay on your path. Your life, your journey, isn't dictated by indirect signals or by the emotional climate of someone else's uncertainty. Your path is yours alone. So the next time a mutual friend casually drops her name in conversation or tries to gauge your reaction, remember this. Don't get swept up in their drama. Smile, say less. And remember, sometimes the silence of a Stoic man speaks louder than all the clues they've planted. Let her wonder if you caught the hint. Let her feel the weight of your quiet strength. This is where the old Stoic wisdom comes in. When you don't flinch at the mention of her name, when you remain unshaken and unmoved by the whispers around you, that's when the message becomes loud and clear. You're no longer waiting for signs. You've become one. You don't need anyone else to tell you what to do. Your peace, your Stoic principles, speak for you. Let her wonder. Let her feel the pull of your calm. In the end, the Stoic life isn't about reacting to every clue thrown your way. It's about standing firm in your values, regardless of the emotional storms around you. So the next time you hear her name mentioned, remember, your strength is in your ability to stay grounded, to not be swayed by the emotional noise. You are no longer searching for signs. You have become the sign. If this resonates with you, comment below, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Don't forget to subscribe for more Stoic wisdom, and drop this in the comments to solidify your mindset. I am not swayed by breadcrumbs. I walk my own path. Number 5. She keeps you in her digital orbit. You've probably noticed it. She still watches your stories, likes old posts, and somehow pops up in your suggested friends or music playlists. Algorithms? Sure, they play a part. But more often than not, this is intentional. A Stoic man doesn't chase signs, but he acknowledges their presence. He doesn't scroll endlessly, trying to decode every little move, but he also doesn't pretend these signs aren't there. Let's break this down. When a woman wants to stay connected, but is unwilling to fully step back into your life, she'll do so from the shadows of your digital world. She won't make the first move to reach out, but she'll leave her fingerprints all over your feed. She might like a photo from 6 months ago, watch every story you post, or even engage with your mutual friends, just close enough to be seen, but far enough to stay emotionally safe. This is modern emotional proximity. You must understand something here. She's not ready to fully open the door, but she doesn't want to make sure it's locked when, or if, she decides to return. And this is where the Stoic man stands apart from the rest. He doesn't react. He doesn't send a message the moment she shows up in his notifications. He doesn't rush to interpret every digital interaction as a grand gesture. Why? Because a man rooted in Stoicism understands that attention isn't the same as intention. Just because she's watching, liking, or commenting doesn't mean she's ready to engage at a deeper level. Presence online doesn't always equal presence in the heart. Take Marcus Aurelius's wisdom to heart. Look well into thyself. There's a source of strength which will always spring up if thou wilt always look. This means, when she lingers in your digital world, look inward, not outward. Reflect on your own progress and growth, not on who's observing you. You see, these digital breadcrumbs she's leaving behind aren't invitations for you to chase. Maybe she's orbiting you for comfort, for curiosity, or perhaps regret. But whatever the reason, it's not your mission to figure that out. Your mission is to keep growing, to stay grounded in your own life, and to avoid letting these digital distractions pull you back into emotional uncertainty. This is where many men go wrong. They see her lingering in their digital space and mistake it for a sign that they need to act. But that's exactly the opposite of what a modern Stoic does. A Stoic man remains centered. He doesn't revolve his life around her digital presence. He acknowledges it, yes, but he doesn't get swept up in it. He lets her orbit if she must, but he refuses to let her gravity pull him off his path. That is the key difference between someone who is reactive and someone who lives with purpose. Remember, the blessing of Stoicism teaches us that we control our reactions, not the behavior of others. So if you find yourself noticing her digital presence, stay rooted. Reflect on your own journey and let her linger if she needs to, but don't let her pull you into a space of emotional uncertainty. Keep walking forward with confidence and composure. Be the one in control, not her. The Stoic life is about your growth, your clarity, and your self-respect. You are not defined by the attention of others, especially when that attention is so fleeting and surface level. Don't let her digital orbit distract you from your mission. Stay grounded, stay strong, and stay on your path. Number 6, her energy shifts without contact. You felt it, haven't you? She's not reaching out, no texts, no calls, but something is different. Her vibe feels familiar again, softer, more present, even from a distance. The Stoic mind understands. The absence of words doesn't mean the absence of feeling. You sense it not through messages, but through the unspoken. Maybe her playlist mirrors old memories, songs that remind you of shared times. Maybe she's posting less, but when she does, the energy behind it feels like a quiet echo of the connection you once shared. Or for no obvious reason at all, you simply feel her presence again, like her spirit is gently knocking on the edges of your awareness. It's subtle. No calls, no texts, no grand gestures, just a shift. But here's the truth. Energy doesn't lie. Even if she never says it, even if she keeps her distance, something inside her is leaning in again. Understand this clearly. Not all reconnection begins with a phone vibrating. Sometimes it begins with her spirit softening in your direction, even if she doesn't fully understand it herself. The modern Stoic recognizes this. A shift in energy doesn't demand an immediate response. It's not a cue to chase, to speak, or to explain. It's an invitation to observe, to feel, to let things unfold without interference. As Seneca said, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. This is your moment to remember that truth. Don't overthink it. Don't try to decode every post or interpret every silence. Simply observe. Hold your center. The answers aren't in your reaction, but in your ability to remain grounded in the present, allowing things to unfold naturally. A Stoic man doesn't rush in at the first sign of a shift. He feels it, yes, but he doesn't react. He stays still. He allows her energy to come to him, not to validate his worth, but to reveal her truth. You must resist the temptation to chase after every change in her behavior. Instead, stay grounded, stay unmoved. A Stoic understands that pressure and pursuit will only distort the truth. The real power lies in letting things unfold at their own pace. If her energy is truly shifting, it will find its way to you, not through chasing, not through demand, but through a pull, one that only peace and presence can create. In today's world, we are constantly bombarded by distractions, instant messages, and the need for immediate responses. But the Stoic life teaches us patience and observation. A man who is rooted in Stoic principles doesn't get swayed by external noise. He doesn't seek validation in quick responses or external signals. He trusts that what is meant to be will unfold naturally. Your mission is not to rush towards something uncertain. It's to stay rooted, stay patient, and let the truth emerge when the time is right. The pull of her energy is not a call for immediate action, but a signal for you to hold your ground, stay centered, and allow time to do its work. So, Stay grounded. Don't let the uncertainty of the moment shake your foundation. When her energy shifts, let it come to you. Don't chase it. Don't overanalyze it. Let it reveal its truth, quietly over time. In the world of fleeting moments and emotional chaos, your ability to remain still and present is your greatest strength. Stay rooted in your Stoic values. Let her energy speak before her mouth ever does. If you've made it this far, you're already ahead of most men. While they stay stuck in the cycle, constantly chasing and overthinking, you've learned to stay grounded. If you're ready to master your emotions and trust the process, comment below with, "I let her energy come to me." Stay calm, stay patient, and keep moving forward. Number 7. She shares personal moments indirectly. If you've been keeping an eye on her social media, you might notice something peculiar. She's posting about more intimate milestones, personal victories, emotional struggles, or nostalgic moments that seem more vulnerable than her usual content. These aren't the kind of posts that scream for attention, but rather quiet, subtle expressions of where she stands emotionally. She's revealing pieces of her inner world, but not with the intent of getting a direct response. It's almost as if she's testing the waters, letting you catch a glimpse of her life from afar, but without giving you the chance to engage directly. Don't be fooled into thinking this is a loud cry for help or some sort of desperate plea. She's keeping it low, key, almost like she wants you to see without having to ask for it. But here's where the modern Stoic knows better. A Stoic man does not rush in. He doesn't see these posts as invitations to pry or insert himself into her emotional space uninvited. The Stoic approach is far different. He notices the changes, but he doesn't let himself be swept up in the emotions attached to them. She's offering pieces of herself, but that doesn't mean he should rush to fill in the blanks or solve what isn't his to fix. He understands that sharing a bit of her emotional landscape doesn't automatically equate to a need for a response or an open invitation to re-enter her life. It's her way of keeping a door open just a crack, but not necessarily asking for him to walk through it. That's the beauty of Stoicism. It teaches a man to observe without reacting impulsively. The Stoic man does not rush into action just because he feels something stir within him. Instead, he pauses, takes a step back, and simply acknowledges the moment. You see, the blessing of Stoicism lies in understanding that not everything requires an immediate response. A woman who shares moments like these is not necessarily signaling for help or asking for attention. She's simply keeping herself emotionally available in a way that doesn't fully expose her. A modern Stoic man understands that this is where the emotional game becomes about self-restraint. It's about not overreacting to signals that may not even require action. He knows when to hold his ground, when to observe, and when to let things unfold naturally. This is where most men fail. They get caught up in the urgency of the moment. They see a post, hear a song, or catch a glimpse of something familiar, and immediately their minds race. She's trying to tell me something. I need to do something about this. But the Stoic man, rooted in his principles, does not let these emotional breadcrumbs pull him into a cycle of overthinking and unnecessary action. He recognizes the difference between offering support and seeking validation. And that's where the true strength lies, not in chasing after every hint or signal, but in maintaining emotional clarity and strength even in the face of uncertainty. You must understand that silence, when it comes from someone you care about, is not always a cold rejection. Sometimes it's a test, a way of waiting to see how you'll react without giving you the satisfaction of an overt invitation. The old Stoic wisdom tells us that we control only how we respond to the world around us, not the world itself. Her indirect sharing of personal moments is no different. It's her way of speaking without speaking, giving just enough for you to notice, but not enough to make a direct move. The Stoic response? You don't flinch. You don't rush. You observe, reflect, and then remain still. So, next time you find yourself analysing her posts, stop and ask yourself, is she waiting for me to respond? Or is she simply revealing something personal, not necessarily asking for my involvement? The true power of a Stoic man is found in his ability to resist the urge to overact, his ability to stay grounded and not be pulled into emotional reactions that don't serve him or the situation. That's the strength and wisdom of the modern Stoic, a man who, when faced with emotional complexity, chooses calm, clarity, and self-respect over impulsive behavior. Don't let the small details, the hints, or the indirect signals throw you off your path. Be still, be grounded, and let her decide if she wants you back in her life. Your response will reveal more about you than anything you could say. And that, my friend, is where the real power lies. Number 8. She remembers small details. Even if there's been a long stretch without direct contact, you may notice her bring up tiny, seemingly insignificant details from the past, those little things that only the two of you shared. It could be a joke you laughed about months ago, an inside story that still brings a smile, or a topic of conversation you once dug into deeply. These are subtle reminders she's planting, and they aren't random. They are carefully chosen pieces of history meant to test how much you still care. She's wondering, do you still remember those little things, or have you let go of what once mattered? In her own quiet way, she's seeing if the emotional connection is still there, or if you've moved on completely. Don't fall for the trap of overanalyzing every word she says or every small reference she makes. This is where most men get caught up, thinking that these little gestures are clear signs that something needs to be done. But a Stoic man doesn't get swept up in the emotional storm of nostalgia or longing. He doesn't let past moments dictate his present actions. Instead, he uses these subtle references as a powerful reminder of how far he's come and how much self-control he's cultivated. You must remember that a Stoic man understands the deep lessons of Stoicism. Not every signal requires action. The small details are just that, small. They are pieces of a bigger picture, but not the picture itself. If she truly wants to reconnect and revisit those moments, she knows where to find you. And if she doesn't, you must be prepared to let it go without feeling incomplete. A Stoic man stays grounded in his own self-worth. He doesn't measure his value by the emotional breadcrumbs others throw his way. Instead, he stands tall, firmly rooted in his own growth and journey. Remember, a Stoic life is about balance and inner peace, not chasing after fleeting emotions. So, when she brings up a little memory, don't be quick to jump back into old patterns. Don't rush to fill the emotional void. Simply observe, acknowledge, and move forward. It's easy to get lost in what used to be, but true strength lies in not letting the past define your present. You must stay focused on your path, not on trying to relive moments that have already passed. This is where the Stoic lessons truly shine. A man rooted in Stoicism understands that these small gestures, these hints from the past, are not signs that something needs fixing. They are simply pieces of the puzzle, nothing more. The Stoic response? You don't react impulsively. You don't rush to re-engage just because you sense a fleeting emotional pull. Instead, you observe the situation for what it is, remain centered in your own self, discipline, and move forward with clarity. If she truly wants to return to those moments, she will find her way back to you. But a Stoic man doesn't go running when the door is cracked open. He remains calm, grounded, and focused on his own growth. You must remember that your value is not determined by how much someone remembers you, but by how you stand on your own, with or without them. That's the true power of Stoicism, the ability to remain unshaken in the face of emotional uncertainty and to stay rooted in your own worth. So the next time she remembers those small details, don't let them pull you into a cycle of longing. Be the man who stands strong, stays true to himself, and continues moving forward on his path. That is the Stoic way. And if you find today's content very interesting, please give me a word of encouragement by commenting "very interesting" in the comment section. That is a huge motivation for us. Thank you. Hey, thanks for sticking with me through today's video. If you found these signs helpful and you think someone else could benefit from this advice, don't forget to hit that like button, share the video, and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. It's all about staying grounded and understanding the signals without overreacting. And I'll keep bringing you more tips on how to live that modern Stoic life. Now, if you've got thoughts, questions, or personal experiences to share about the topic, I'd love to hear from you. Feel free to drop your feedback or anything you want to discuss in the comments below. Your voice matters, and this is the place to keep the conversation going. Remember, stay calm, stay focused, and don't rush your moves. See you in the next video.